We decided to hire Leanne Monk to sell our home because she had sold the house across the street. So she was one of three agents that we interviewed, and Leanne by far was superior in her organization. When she came to my first meeting, she was well organized with the proper paperwork to step me through the process, especially when I compare her to the other two agents that I interviewed. I also coincidentally saw a Facebook media a video that Leanne was presenting for a house that was already on the market the day before I interviewed her. So it was perfect timing, and I was so impressed that they went the extra mile to reach out to people via social media.
Well, we were excited to find Leanne Monk online. She sent us to a lender so that we got all the approvals and everything first so that we didn't waste our time, and which I thought was absolutely wonderful. It was just everything fell in place. Leanne is absolutely a dream. She's very professional and very friendly.
It seemed really seamless with her. She was there for every step of our way. So just the personal connection, like right off the bat, really made us feel comfortable. And so finding her was definitely just the luckiest thing that we could do.
From the get-go, we had a relationship with Leanne that was also right off the bat. We can tell we connected right away with her. We felt very comfortable with her. Immediately, strong attention to details, extremely assiduous, very diligent about what she does. You can tell that she is somebody that's going to be out front for you, representing your interests. She's going to be out there, in the trenches with people. And right off the bat, you can tell she, not afraid to take on responsibility, not afraid to take on challenges of any sort.
We felt that with Leanne, we developed a relationship of trust, and she knew our situation, she knew our savings, our budgeted money for closing, and for the whole process and the budget that we had for the house. So she went an extra step in helping us. Okay, in order to get this house, not only I'm going to help you to negotiate the best price to buy it, but I'm also going to work with the sellers for them to give you credit towards your closing cost, the subsidy.
We went on Zillow, there was nothing, and we were kind of, a little bit scared, a little bit confused if there was even going to be anything for us. Leanne reached out and was like, no worries, I have the connections, I know what we can do, let me look some things up. Came back with an awesome list that, like he said, met all of our requirements, was there for us, any time of the day. Honestly, if I had a question, would shoot it over to her. She would respond, within 30 minutes, honestly. And it was really helpful, if I was nervous or, looking something up and wanted to answer really quickly. It was really personal for me to have that connection and, be able to get that response pretty quickly.
What I loved about Leanne was, number one, her communication was spot on throughout the whole process. Through the interview process and us deciding, that took us like a week because the other realtor kept putting us off. And Leanne was in just enough communication to follow up with us where we were in the process.
If we had a message, if we had a question, even at 9 o'clock at night, she was there to respond to it and say, hey, I'll check into that. Let me get you a response within the morning. And I would wake up and there was my response. So it was definitely a very personal connection, and that was something we really valued.
To Leanne's expert relational and negotiating skills, just her knowledge. She's technically superior in a lot of areas that we were just, had no clue about. And drafting emails constantly and then sending us courtesy copies of things and keeping us informed as well of what's going on, and getting on the phone, like I said, with the chief financial officers and senior people. And she gained the respect of these folks. I've talked to the chief financial officer just last weekend, and he was extremely impressed with Leanne.
Leanne marketed my home in a very successful way through multiple things. She had a professional photographer come in that took beautiful photos, and she gave me some good staging advice so those photos looked top-notch. Plus, she even loaned me some of her own personal items to help stage my home, to make it just more appealing to the general market, and it really showed in the photos. She did some Facebook ads prior to marketing, a coming soon video. She knew how to work the MLS listing to get the interest ramped up prior to the official open. I appreciated that. And she also marketed it through a few open houses. Again, at last minute open houses when a deal fell through. She was willing to contact other agents for feedback on the individual showings, so that was nice to hear feedback if we needed to improve the homes.
During the negotiation process at the very beginning, we don't necessarily know which figures they might budge on, so just having an agent available was really helpful because she was able to say, can we go any higher with these figures? Where can we really negotiate on this? So it's really nice to have somebody with that experience to be able to, free up some extra cash and really get something a little bit more. So giving us a higher subsidy was really great, and just having somebody with the experience to know how to do that and how to help you negotiate was a great asset.
She prepared us for multiple scenarios ahead of time in terms of the appraised value of the house. So she said, well, if in scenario 1, this is the subsidy you're going to get, but let's get ready for scenario B where the house might be appraised slightly differently, and this is what we're going to do to protect your subsidy. And so she was really clear in terms of options and different things that we might have not thought of ourselves, to really make sure that we were always protected and we were always going to get the help from the sellers that we were looking for.
Navigating through the process was so much easier having somebody who's a lot of experience and is totally on your side, and looking out for you and your best interests. And so you don't have to really constantly worry about, okay, is the builder really giving me the best deal? Is this really the way it's supposed to work? You have somebody who's telling you, yeah, that's the way it works, or no, that's not the normally way it goes.
She was always there for us, and she always had our back to answer any question, or if there was the slightest hiccup, then she took care of it right away. There was no waiting and stressing about it.
And she would advocate for us. And without that advocacy, I don't think we'd be sitting here right now in this home. I know we wouldn't be sitting here right now in this home.
She was a ball of faith, hope, and tenacity.
We would definitely recommend Leanne. She has been the best thing about buying this home process, and she just made everything really easy for us to understand as a first-time home buying couple. She definitely took everything that we needed and really made it to find our dream home.
I feel like we've made a new friend along with a realtor that did above and beyond anything that I thought a realtor needed to do.
Yeah, I would absolutely recommend Leanne and the entire team to anybody, new construction, resale, whatever. I would honestly work with her again anytime.
Absolutely.
She was such a pleasure,
Absolutely.
so professional, so helpful, and always really looking out for us. And I couldn't have ever imagined that it would have turned out as well as it did.
Absolutely. Always responsive. Like anytime we had questions, sometimes we probably sent emails in the evenings, on weekends, during the day, and she was always quick to respond and always helpful and accurate.
I would highly recommend Leanne to anyone that is moving to the Northern Virginia area. The follow through from staging advice to just the right amount of repair needed to market the home successfully, to making sure I fully understood the real estate transaction in general. This is only my second home that I sold, and I feel like she was just with me, a true partner the whole step of the way. So I'm sure you'd have the same experience with Leanne that I did.